Hello everyone, and welcome to Super Robot Wars T. I'm Drunken Dan.
Man, I'm trying to now. I was trying to think of like giving you advice at the start, and now I'm like, I don't even remember how this game starts anymore. I only played it like last year. I only played the beginning like last year.
Yeah, for the audience, this is a blind playthrough. I've been playing V, but I have not played T. T was the one that I was the most interested in, but I accidentally bought V before it.
It's okay, you were introduced to Cross Ange, so it's totally worth it.
You have made
be
everyone
fair-
uncomfortable and unhappy.
For that, you must be executed. To be fair, like Ange's, I've said before and I'll say again, like as a series, Ange is endlessly entertaining.
Yeah.
You can't really fault it for that for being
It's
uninteresting.
just not entertaining for the way the creator thought it was.
Yeah, but at least all the rest of the stuff was like, fuck it.
Like this is going to be the greatest comedy ever.
Like I would say Ange, for all of its problems, is at least worth something because it's entertaining versus other properties that are
So, because
not
it's-
entertaining.
Because this is a blind playthrough and it's also being recorded, I am going to put this on beginner mode.
Fair. I mean, I'll be honest, T is a fair chunk easier than E and B, so
And
not-
I'm going to go with your recommendation and pick the girl.
I mean, Saizo's alright.
You always pick the girl. The girl
Yeah,
is almost
basically.
the only game the girl isn't better in is in Z1.
And J.
Eh,
Yeah, Calvina's not that. Calvina's just kind of
You guys want to name her, or you just want to keep her default?
Sagiri. Keep her as Sagiri. It's like, what's the point in naming her?
Yeah, I didn't even name Chitose, I kept it the same.
Exactly, because as soon as
what's
they
the
get
point? Because eventually there'll be an OG, and then no matter what name you gave them, they'll have the regular one anyway. So
Right. Bonus content has been downloaded.
Hooray.
neat. So you get access to the anniversary unit earlier, or maybe at all. I don't actually remember if because I know
I don't know
You
which
get,
one it is
like-
in this one. I know in V it was Gungrist. And,
and Chuckvine,
yes.
This one is guest spensed.
yes, which is arguably the worst anniversary unit.
Oh.
And
But
it
it's
exits
what they-
Cybuster.
Yeah, which is my least favorite one, but
I,
one
I,
Train
I
doesn't
enjoyed the anniversary ones from V. Gungrist is probably one of the strongest ones, for me at least. Mainly because of her defense, because she takes a hit and she just laughs at you.
I mean Grungust is fine. But I'm sat here like, yeah, but the Type Zero Grungust though.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like that Grungust is okay, but the Grungust that OG
all right.
creates that are
Imagine the Grungust, right? But it has a giant sword that has the power to become even gianter, and also is so big it needs to have its own rocket boosters in order to be swung around properly.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a shame she doesn't have that in this.
And also, it's piloted by probably the angriest man in Super Robots.
But I like Lottie.
Yeah, but she's no Zenga Sonbot, the sword that smites evil. Like,
Yeah.
she's fine, but it's once again, it's that thing. It's like, well, she's like, her and Belt are fine, but but Zenga though, Sabo knows what I'm on about.
Oh yeah, he's probably like the most popular character of the series. He was in Project
Yeah.
Cross Zone.
He's the only one who got into Project Cross Zone, and he doesn't even. And no one knew who the fuck he was when he came out over here,
Yeah.
but we knew.
We knew, and he didn't even have his. He's like, you know what? Instead of a robot, why don't you just have a foot-sized version of your sword? Okay.
But yeah, the Gespenston, the Gespenston T would have been fine if it had had its signature move, but for some reason they cut it.
I don't know. I haven't played the game.
Because it's not it's the real version Gespenst, which is the boring one.
So basically, there's versions of the Gespenst that have an ability called Gespenst Kick, which is literally they just do a Kamen Rider kick.
It's just the fucking Azuna kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
Well, see, there's the super type Gespenst, which does the kick and also has like a secret chest cannon hidden in it. Then there's the real type, which just has a gun.
Yeah.
The guest pants. Which one's the guest pants? Is
Uh,
that in this
it's-
game?
Yes, it's in this game.
Oh, okay.
It is, as I said, it's unfortunately probably the worst anniversary unit they could have picked. But they ran out of them after Grungust, Yuckbine, and
Yeah. We did
Psyduster.
them all.
Like, there are no more classic ones left.
There,
So,
there are no more classic ones from the first
and
series.
there's no way in hell that they're giving you the SRX team in this.
I guess they're broken.
No,
No, it's just there's 3 of them, and there's a whole lot of stuff you need to do in order to get them to work because they've got fuckloads of story.
And there's special plot reasons why only they could pilot them, so you can't just like give it to a new character and be like, hey,
So,
here's a
And it-
guest spence. Yeah.
and everyone else is too new. I mean, I guess actually they could have given us the Altizen, but Which is basically-
they put that in DD,
uh,
which is the gacha game that is.
and the Altizen is basically the Dispense, but if it had a big fuck off spike on its fist, and also missiles.
And also missiles, and also the main pilot is like, I'm very lucky.
Yeah, that's his shtick. Is that he's just ridiculously lucky.
I do enjoy already. This character's shtick is money.
Work hard, get paid harder. That's
Ooh, a
her
bonus.
It's not quite as good as Crow from Z2 though, whose power was his shtick, and also the source of his power was his crippling debt.
So the more debt he racked up, the more powerful he was.
The more powerful he was because his plot thing worked by like the will to pay off his debt. So the more money he owed people, the more he got determined to
Man.
pay it back, and the more powerful his robot got.
I forgot how early on how you have like so few weapons. I'm so used to like since I'm late game into V, I was like I opened up the move list and I only saw 2. I went whoa, because I forgot that you I forgot what it's like in the early days.
Yeah.
I mean, also, it's going to be a long time before you get to Koji Kabuto.
I mean, I like Koji, but I mean, he just has Mazinger Z in this one. He doesn't really have the cool shit. And poor Tetsuya.
He has the movie one though,
Yeah,
with panels.
all the panels.
All the panels. It's like, hey, do you want to see the Mazinger that's covered in panels?
No, not really, actually. Okay, I do like this robot though. The protagonist one. It's pretty cool.
Oh, Tyrannado, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Von Gray is probably my favorite of the 2, still just from the looks. I'll see what more it does with its weapons and shit though as it goes on.
Well, since I mentioned to you before, it's not really a spoiler, that Tyrannado doesn't have a choice of upgrades.
You just
but
upgrade.
it does. Yeah, you just upgrade, but its upgrade is pretty strong. Probably stronger than both.
Oh,
Main
that's
Ray and
different.
Bang.
This one actually tells me if it's going to just kill the enemy.
Yes, that is a update they did, so that you will get told if the attack hits, will it kill,
Yeah,
which is useful.
Which helps.
Yeah, that's
knowing when to.
that's very different than what I'm used to in the other one, where I'm kind of doing like math on the fly of if I think it's gonna kill or not.
More importantly, it'll tell it if it.
You know what really fucked me one time is I had to redo one of the levels so I can get Shinji his best Ava, because Joe the Ace fucking crit the angel to death, and I was so mad.
Yeah. Sometimes that bursty skill is actually useful.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it'll also tell it if you're going to get killed. Which,
Yeah.
you know, it's helpful when you're like, oh, my HP is fine, and then you're like, oh no, if this hit connects, it will kill you.
And then the Vilkis explodes.
Yeah.
Well, that's just Vilkis in general. Like I said, Vilkis
is a walking glass cannon.
but it hits like a truck, but it dies in one hit.
Yeah, as I said.
But it hits like a truck.
It's a glass cannon, like I said. It's definitely one of my go-tos in V. Vilkis is almost always on the map. I don't think I don't think since I got it, I don't think there's a point where I didn't have it on the map, unless
I'd say in V, there's pretty much no reason not to use every protagonist mech, just because there's a lot of. I will say T does have that advantage over V, in that there are a lot more mechs that I think are harder to say. Ooh, but are harder to sort of give up on. Whereas in V, it's very after a certain point, you're like, yeah, I'll just use everything that's piloted by a main character, and everyone else can suck a dick. or every main unit, because yes, you can swap Gundam pilots around on the fly.
Right. I'm trying to think of which ones I used in last map, but I know it was mostly protagonists. I think there were a couple that were not, though. But, yeah, it's definitely certain ones have fallen off. I've even stopped using boss, even though I enjoy the meme.
It's just, unfortunately, they have
Because like even when,
units that
even when I had him to be like the aggro catcher in the tank, when I got Gungrus, it's like you do what he does, but you also hit like a truck.
And if you had Day 1 edition, you can get Grungust from like stage 3 onwards.
Yeah, which would be fucking broken.
Hyukbine's, I'm not entirely. I'm pretty sure Hyukbine is an outright better unit because Hyukbine can because Velt has move hitting or move and fire or firing away where you
actually,
can shoot
I started
and then
using him too. He's good.
But also, Hyukbine is like ridiculously hard for a lot of units to hit, and also has fucking insane range, and also has micro missiles, which is a really good map attack. But because it can't hit it can only hit enemies.
Speaking of hitting though, in that game, now that I am where I am, if the game lets me pick 3 ships, my 3 ships are Nadesco, Yamato, and Shingetter.
I mean, yeah, that's generally the 3 you go for. Argama is whatever. Argama's just kind of meh.
I used it until I got the dragon, basically. Once I got dragon, it fell off, because also the dragon has the cool thing of you can pretend it's a mobile suit for a second, have it fly up, and then have K drill a motherfucker.
You've not got to the part where Shingetter and Dragon get their combo attack,
Not yet.
have you?
Not yet.
Because that's basically what makes Shingetter or Shin Dragon super worth it, because that attack hits like a truck and can be used by 2 really strong units.
What spirit commands does she have?
I mean,
okay.
very
What does morale do? Oh, is that the
Morale,
space focus?
Yeah, it boosts its focus. I don't know why they changed the translation.
Oh, okay.
But it's the same thing.
Fair enough. Because I then looked, I was like, oh yeah, I don't see focus, so it's got to be that. But
there are 1 or 2 things where the translation's different, but nothing you shouldn't be able to.
It's not as bad as X, where one character has like a different translation for every like time it comes up. for the done by protagonist, it's like in dialogue, in the dialogue box, and then like the stat screen, like they use a different translation for his name every time because it was done by different people, and none of them checked.
Wow,
to make sure everybody was on the same page.
She even comes with like a really good set of skills.
Yeah.
Like Chitose was okay when she came out, but she didn't have those are like some of my go-to skills. Like Jesus.
It's like how clearly some of these translators have never actually watched the source material and like don't really know what like vague terms there are talking about, and they don't look it up. They're just like, oh yeah, it's probably this.
But yeah, Segura.
But it gets better.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you think Segura is good now? Wait till the second pilot gets introduced. Because Tyranado is special and actually, I say this. I'm pretty sure all 3 of these unit of the main characters from this trilogy are duo piloted at some point.
Yeah, I am aware that there is a secret scenario where you can. I think you fight Chitose.
Nah, you fight alongside them.
Okay,
yeah.
Alongside. Okay.
They teleport in and I don't remember anything, but I guess we're fighting these random guys that look. I guess we're fighting these guys, and then you and them team up to fight the bad guys from their respective games, and then all right, I must go. My planet needs me. Whoop.
This is all to set up
and then all the
DLC
characters
scenario for.
And then all the characters are like, that was a weird thing that happened. Let's never talk about it again.
Well, no, because it comes up in there was a DLC, it's extra 20 stage thing for T, which actually does bring back these characters and like, all right, let's have an adventure together. But it's just them. It's not like the other series from X and V that aren't in T. They don't show up, so it's just the leads.
Yeah. Which we can't get the DLC on Switch versions because eShop's not region free.
And for those of you who are in the audience who are wondering, this is the Switch version.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't super change part.
I mean, I just didn't get it because I was like, this doesn't really seem like it's worth it.
Yeah.
But
Is there anything different in it? Or they're like, no, just the extra characters from V, the protagonists from V and X actually stay for the duration. Is like anyone else? No, not really.
I mean, I
Is there
kind of wouldn't mind have
anything
like.
cool? No, you basically just fight grunts. I was like, okay, I think I'll pass.
Okay. Because it would be cool to have like the because it'd be just fucking hilarious to have the Grand Vang. But I just say that because I think the Grand Vang is cool.
I mean, you can get the Grand Vang, but you know, it's the exact same animations as in V. So you
Oh
can
no,
just
I
play
know.
V
It's just
again.
I just think it's a cool robot. I mean, I'd be fucking shocked if it wasn't the same animations.
One day they'll bring back my favorite robots.
I mean, I'm still new to the series, so my favorite robot list of original ones is very small.
Maybe they should have. You know, they should have made the anniversary unit for this. Sebo and Gelg.
Oh God, no.
I'm actually surprised they didn't make Balcione anniversary unit, but
Even like OG doesn't really use Angelg anymore.
we're not allowed to talk
Like,
about Angelg.
That's not her default unit anymore. Is
Yeah.
the secret one?
Yeah,
It's still there if you really want to use it, but it's like no.
who cares about the poor Angelg? It's not its fault it's got big tits.
No. Or
It's
that the
weird.
anime did nothing with it.
Wow. That's the least of Inspector's problems, I feel.
Mm. I mean, it was better than Divine Wars, at least.
Yeah, unlike Divine Wars, it had fucking animation.
It
It's
had
a-
animation and things happened.
It's a real shame, because if you want to get people to into OG, it's like, well, your options are you either pirate two GBA games, or you watch these two shows that are pretty meh.
Yeah.
And
The
do
music
that
wasn't
crap.
quite as well. The music was good as far as in they just actually used the game soundtrack, which at that point was like several years old. In fact, they're still using the OGS soundtrack, which is at this point now like 13 years old, and they're still using it.
Yeah, well. Who cares about that? We got Yusho Tanjo in this game, eventually.
Yes, and thankfully it didn't use the Alpha 3 version.
Well, I feel like even that would have thought that's pushing it a little bit. Trying to do the Alpha 3 bit.
Oh, geez,
like,
the
bitchy.
upgrade thing is a lot bigger in this one.
Oh, what, the number of upgrades you can get?
Yeah, for the customizations.
Yeah, but you'll still unlock full customization at level 10.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where you're better off bumping most people up, bumping all the important people up to 5, and then maybe going up to 10.
That's kind of what I did with in the other one, where I got most people. I got like most people to like a decent level, but then like I'd focus on the ones that I knew were just fucking powerful, or at least that seemed powerful to me.
Well, I mean, bearing in mind there are some units that just become like strong through a combination of like their like half custom of their custom bonus and the ace pilot bonus. So it's one of those things where if you know there's units that if you've got like main character units specifically are like always worth trying to custom and ace bonus on.
Right.
Because like for instance, Akito, right? If you are like upgrading Black Serena and getting him Ace Pilot, like gives him like ridiculous buffs on.
Oh yeah, I focused him a good bit.
Well, it's the fact that it gives him like increased accuracy evasion during the opponent's turn, which is good because his is a unit that the AI is just sort of programmed to rush for some reason, and then his Ace bonus like gives him added attack power. I think when he so. Actually, no. I think. Oh wait, no. It gives him the infinite energy thing that all the
You
other.
are right, though. I have noticed that like the AI likes to bum rush him, and it's become kind of a strategy of mine to just let them do that because I think it's funny.
I suspect it's because the early game. It's because it's a programming thing because of the early game, because you need like Akito to be the target of all the Martian successors because that's Hakushin's entire deal. Is man, Akito, I'm really dark and edgy, and I'm going to make you dark and edgy and then kill you, or you'll kill me. I don't know anymore. I'm just real fucking edgy, man. I kidnapped your wife.
Oh yeah, this is like I think that this time it is actually all the DLC because I just went and like all the I can like do bonus scenarios on chapter 1 already.
I think they're just there. I don't think you've got them.
Oh okay.
So,
Happy
I'm not
bonus
sure.
T, wonderful bonus T, special starter pack. Thank you for acquiring the day 1 bonus. What could be inside?
Haha, boner.
But I'll do bonus ones another time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep doing I'm gonna do at least like 2 or 3 main stuff before I touch one of those.
Understandable.
When I'm playing on my own in V, I immediately jump on them as soon as I can. And I'll probably do that a little bit more as the game goes further on, because, you know, more stuff to unlock, more things to customize, all that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I do like, her... Sagiri, is that how I say her name?
Sagiri, yeah.
Sagiri. I do like her design a little bit more than Chitose. I will say that.
Doesn't
I like
have the
Chitose's
Van
character,
Presto.
though. That's true.
Doesn't have the Van Presto logo on the shirt.
That's
so
true.
You get minus points for that.
But, oh yeah, as an aside, because, Trey and I both rewatched it recently. We both, saw Char's Counterattack again, and I still love it. It's still a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to really say about it.
The only thing I'd say is I forgot how much Quest is the worst, but at the same
I
time...
did.
But at the same time, I have to admit, she is a 13-year-old girl, and it's accurate.
I mean, yeah, but the problem is with the level of how bad Quest is, it just makes Hathaway even worse than he already is.
What you mean when he kills Chen, who did nothing wrong?
Yeah, it's basically that. Is that the worse Quest is as just this unlikable human being that, like, even at least like Four and Lala and what's her name, Stella in Sea Destiny.
Yeah.
At least there was really scenes of like those those girls and the characters who fall in love with them to go, oh, okay, I guess they are human before. Whereas Quest is just, man, I hate everyone and everything. Fuck all of you. Man, that guy's not trying to have sex with me like right now. I'm so mad. I'm going to join the space Nazis.
And then for some reason... Oh yeah, because Amuro didn't want to fuck her.
Yeah.
Because Amuro's like, no, you're 13 and I have a girlfriend who's not 13. I'm not a pedophile. What do you think I am, Char?
So, but because they make
Char,
Quest so just unrelenting in her just being awful, it does mean that Hathaway, who becomes obsessed with her to the point of committing murder, becomes even more awful.
I don't understand why 2 fucking random dudes just randomly become obsessed with her when she's literally just a pain in the ass.
Because new types.
Okay, sure, whatever.
Well, no, it's literally that. It's because the whole point is that new types have that thing where they resonate with each other. So because Quest is a powerful new type, or a powerful enough new type that with literally 0 training or experience in space, she can sense other people and be sensed by other people. It causes like Hathaway and her to have a connection, and it causes her to become obsessed with Shah because new types. Like, that is basically why new types are insane and do this whole thing of, man, I'm just like, it's the same reason why Camille and Four have the whole thing, even though Four's a psychopath.
Right.
Same reason why Judo and Haman have a thing.
But yeah, you're right. Quest never really has like those moments where she doesn't act like the fucking worst.
So as I said, it's unfortunately makes Hathaway the worst, or even more of the worst than he already kind of is.
I mean, before he fucking murders Chen, he's just like an awkward teen. He's fine. And then he goes fucking psycho on Chen.
Mm-hmm. He goes home and sleeps like a baby.
Who literally did nothing wrong. Chen did nothing wrong. And this isn't a meme. She literally did nothing wrong.
I mean,
the only thing wrong she did was decide to go out there in a half-destroyed mobile suit as opposed to, you know, like,
a Gista.
The actually good one that was right next to it.
Like a Gista instead?
No, it was literally half destroyed. Like, he didn't have a head.
No, I was saying, like, instead of just going into the Gista, because the Gista, like, that's the name of the mass produce that they had, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Gesta.
Yeah. Something like that, but I mean, there was one right there.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
But Hathaway gets into a minute later, and Flatbrand says she's like, "No, I'm going to take the damaged not Gundam that has 1 leg and 1 arm, and its only weapons is like 2 grenades."
Oh, it didn't even have those anymore. It didn't even have the grenades anymore.
No, it did. No, it had the grenades because that's what she destroys Quest with. Because, you know, that was literally the only weapon left.
And then Hathaway shoots her to death while she's like, Hathaway,
Hathaway
please
shoots
stop.
Although it's surprising that like she got into a huge like fight with the new Gundam without really taking any damage. Yet Chen just showed up and chucked a grenade at her and it killed her, which is
To be
strange.
fair, Amuro wasn't really trying. He was just trying to get to Shah.
Yeah, he
That's
was
true. He's like, I don't really have time for this. Yeah.
He was actively trying not to. The only reason any of the two died is because one of them wasn't a teenager that he met once. So he's just like, well, get rid of this one.
Also, he was just like, all right, screw this, and then he just immediately killed. Also, that was the guy that killed what's her face from before.
Yeah.
Astanage's girlfriend. So I'm pretty sure he was still steamed about that too.
He's like, oh yeah, you're the one
So
that
he
killed
just
her.
like, okay.
Bye.
Okay, I'll kill you. And he didn't even get a death scene. He just like, bam, bye.
I mean, neither did actually Quest. She just explodes when she explodes.
Yeah.
Man, I hope you like Yune and Quest though, because they have larger roles in this.
Usually when a Gundam character dies, like they get hit and then they're like, oh no, and then there's a close like
Wait, they have
close
large...
of them exploding in the cockpit. But with that guy, he's just like, nah, bang, bye.
Wait, hold on. So they have larger roles. Is Chen dead in this one? I'm gonna be mad if Chen's dead.
No, there's no. They don't see. Nah, they don't
I don't
care.
think Chen ever dies in Super Robot Wars because
She's
she
not.
never
I mean,
pilots.
she's not in this game for a start,
Oh yeah, that's true.
because this is based off the novel. Because they wanted to use High New Gundam,
Oh yeah, so she's not there.
so instead you get Beltachika.
Oh.
But when she does show up, she usually doesn't die.
Yeah. Well,
Is it-
it's one of those things like why bother killing a character in a video game? It's like, unless it's like super important, they die, and nothing about Chan's death was super or important.
Like you could literally just have her go to Amuro, give him the fucking Psycho Frame T, and live, and it's fine.
Basically. I mean, if they don't even kill Guy from the Desco half the time, assuming they even do TV show Nadesco, which they don't.
I just noticed that they just brought up in the dialogue too. And I was like, wait, did they just give her a coffee stain on her shirt?
Yes.
Good.
Very rarely they'll do those things where it's not just like the 3 to 4 like base key arts. Very rarely. But yes, that's why she's the fallen angel. Because everyone falls in love with her, and then it turns out she's just a slob.
Who?
Sagiri,
Scary.
the protagonist.
Oh.
Like, the shtick is that they call her the fallen angel, which is only in reference to the fact that she's very pretty and charismatic, but she's such a slob and kind of
kind of
greedy
boorish.
that she's not wife material, shall we say.
Weaklings.
And I mean, depending on your choice, there is a choice system in this game, or at least a moral choice right at the very end,
Oh.
which basically amounts to, "Hey, Sagiri, what do you like, boys or girls, or do you just want to focus on your career?"
Oh, okay.
Which, me being me, I picked the career one because I found it funniest. Because all the characters are like, well, then I guess I still have a chance.
So, well, maybe I have a chance.
That's actually kind of funny.
I always remember, weirdly enough, there was an interview before the game came out where one of the voice actors said, "Oh, my character really loves the protagonist, or really loves Sagiri," and then like the director Terada immediately stepped in and was like, "No, it's not in that sense." And then it's like, when you play the game, yeah, it kind of is in that sense. Terada's just full of shit. It's Terada, isn't it? Might not be.
A director?
But-
What do you mean? A director for anything giant robot related has never been full of shit, right, Tomino?
I mean, at least he's the fun kind of full of shit.
It's true. I
Where he just-
still love the Ano and Tomino like back and forth. It's just fucking funny.
Oh, the one about, I think Nanai would be the kind of woman that would make Charlotte's dick feel good.
And Ano's just like,
Uh-oh.
oh, he crazy.
He's crazier than me. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I shouldn't have done this.
Oh no. I thought I was a little a little bit of a nut, but Tomino takes the cake. You can't out crazy Tomino.
I mean, Probably can. You can just be one of those directors who just fucking gives up and says, just tries to tank the series like right at the very end.
It's true. Oh, actually, speaking
Like-
of that, though, you go on with that, and that just reminded me of something. But you go with that first.
I mean, I was just gonna say, just like See Destiny, when they gave up and just decided, fuck it, I'm not doing this shit anymore. So, what was your point?
So actually, that just reminded me because we talked about it before with So another one of the actors from Star Wars came out about the production of the film, and it was actually Daisy this time.
I mean,
And you remember how we theorized that they literally had no idea what to do with Rey? Yeah, she confirmed that. That apparently, like, literally while they were shooting, they would, like, walk up to her and change things.
I mean,
none of us are surprised. Like, you and I aren't surprised, but...
Which movie was this for? Or was this for Force Only Awakens?
It's basically since the second film, this shit went on. Because apparently the original idea was actually to make her Obi-Wan's granddaughter.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
Yeah, and then when the second movie came around and Rian Johnson showed up, that's when it started.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense that the celibate monk character who like steadfastly believed in the ideals to the point that he even saw what happens when a Jedi fucks. That he'd be like, "Yeah, I'd get in on that, I guess." I mean, somehow stupider than what we got, but not by much. Not by much.
My point is just they didn't know what they were doing, is what I was trying to say. What we always thought, which we theorized, like since like the third movie popped out, was correct. They didn't know what they were doing. They had no plan. That was really the point of this. Was just that we were right. There was no plan. Thank you.
I thought Abrams kind of had a plan, but then the next guy
sort of did. There was like some
all.
idea. There was like notes basically, like the whole Obi-Wan thing. There was like basic notes, and that was about it. And then RJ went nah.
Yeah.
And then
RJ went nah and did whatever he wanted, and then they had to like scramble to come up with a way to somehow make a third movie off of him what he left.
I feel like I said that exact thing
and the
before.
plans wouldn't work.
No.
No, I mean, I feel like I mentioned that apparently there was, like, depending on who you spoke to, there was either notes of a plan or no plan at all. And Rian Johnson always insists, no, there was never a plan. And JJ and Kathleen Kennedy, very difficult to get any kind of straightforward answer out of them, but the closest you got out of the mystery box of that is their interviews was, yeah, there were notes on the plan.
I swear, like, right after the first movie ended and he announced that he wasn't going to do the next one, but J.J. Abrams was like, but I left the setup if they want to follow it.
Yeah, he did. But like I said...
they didn't follow it. And then, I mean, Ryan can say, oh, I didn't know, but he knew.
I mean, realistically, you have a director who only really did, like, one quote-unquote AAA movie, which was Looper. Now handed the keys to the fucking castle, and more than that, given carte blanche on what he could write and what he could do. Like, that was the thing. This wasn't like the Last Jedi was definitely not the case of the studio like interfering. They gave him absolute freedom on what he could and couldn't do, which now kind of makes you go, oh, maybe sometimes executive meddling is needed. But like, yeah, so you had a director who's not at all like been like. So as much as I dislike J.J. Abrams, he's made movies that have made money.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas Rian Johnson made one movie that made sort of money, and everyone was like, "Yeah, it was a neat concept, but it doesn't make any sense if you think about it for more than like 1 second."
I mean, that's a Rian Johnson film. Yeah, that's Rian Johnson. I mean, every film he's made is like that. It's like, what?
No,
this doesn't make sense.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that because The Last Jedi wasn't even fun for 5 minutes.
Oh, I was saying makes no sense. That's all. I was focusing.
Oh
on that.
yeah, what I'm saying is that Looper, if you don't think about it, doesn't make sense. The Last Jedi, you can't not think about it. It's just kind of it just bombards you with nonsense. But yeah, so unsurprising that what I've said what I've as has always been the case, something that Train has said many a time before has proven correct.
By the way, I do like the original cast's character art, and I do like the art style. So this is so far I do like that a bit more than V's, even though there's only like 2 or 3 in V. Because they had like those weird lips, a lot of the OCs in V that I didn't really enjoy. It just
Yeah,
looked
that
weird.
was. Yeah, no, it was like weirdly pronounced lips, which doesn't translate super well to like when they're blown up on like HD TVs.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where the designs are yeah, these look good as like key art, but when it's like blown up and used as like your main method of telling the story.
But these ones I do like a lot better. I do like how these ones look. I like the art style. Then again, it could be because it has a very like mid 90s kind of feel to it, so that could be why. And I'm kind of biased towards that and like 80s style like anime art. I don't know.
It's almost like they're trying to reference the bubble period.
It's almost like that's most of the stuff in this game.
Well, it's more. It's. I mean, I could say it's like also trying to like be somewhat meta because this is like the first. This is the first game where the game where they have like Amuro, Koji, and Ryoma as like adults and as people who have known each other and interacted with each other before.
Yeah, because Koji is typical. Because even in like V, Koji's a teenager while Amuro and Ryoma are adults.
Well, it's because like with Koji, he gets his best mech when he's a teenager, whereas they're forced into using Shingeta, and with Amuro, it's like no one. If you just do like Amuro as like a kid, then all you get is like the what shit in the 1 Year War, which means no Zeta, no double Zeta. Well, it means no. Even if you use like the OVA, like 08th MS Team and 0080 and 0083, you're not getting even 0083 is like pushing it. But even if you're using like 0080 and whatever, you're only really getting like a few units, which means no Zeta, no double Zeta, no unicorn, no things like unicorn or crossbone or the like. So, and there's no point using Zeta era Amuro because I mean, pilot mobile suit.
When he does, it's a piece of shit.
So yeah, you're basically the only armor you can use is CCA, and I mean it's also the strongest Gundam he ever has.
Yeah.
So even stronger in this when you can get the high new Gundam,
which is basically the new Gundam, but it's got blue trimming and those giant fucking solid fuel cells on the back.
No, they've changed the design since then.
Oh, okay.
It now has like wing zero. It almost has like Freedom Gundam style like protrusions that are funnels. So like the Freedom Gundam.
Okay.
Oh, and it is a different shade of blue. It's kind of a shame because I like the black and white color scheme of the original New Gundam.
Yeah, I haven't seen this version of New Gundam, but I've seen the one that I was talking about, and like I remember like one guy was like, "Yeah, I think that's so much cooler," and I'm like, "Nah, New Gundam looks cooler." I really think the New Gundam's like one of my favorite like just Gundams. It's just cool looking. It's very simple, but it's just works perfectly, and it's like a nice upgrade. Like when you look at it, it's like, even though I know there's the Gundam Mark II between them, just going through a straight line, it looks like a very nice upgrade to the RX-78.
Yeah, but Amuro never pilots a Gundam Mark II.
Right, but you know what I mean. Just in terms of looking at them as machines, like it looks like a good like bump up from the RX-78 to the new. So it looks like there's going to be another battle. I wonder if I'm going to be fighting other people. I wonder if I'm going to get any units yet, or if it's going to be a little bit.
You'll probably get units on like the second stage usually.
Okay, always get you never go with the main character alone for more than like a stage or two.
They did it for a little bit in Yamato, because there were several where you were either just the Vangray or just the Yamato. There were a couple that they did that with that until you get the Kai, until you get the Crossbone.
Yeah, but other characters would show up, so.
Or they'd
Even if they didn't
introduce,
stick around.
or they'd introduce other attacks or additional things for like
Yeah.
Vangray or the Yamato.
Right.
Bearing in mind, stage 1 is literally just you control Vangray and that's it.
Yeah, that's usually how it
But-
And
works.
then,
and
and
then
then stage 2 was just Yamato.
Yeah. And then stage 3, if you have the if you have like the pre-order stuff, it's Grungus and Capcom.
I love how this kid just gets thrown in the machine. She's like, "What's going on? No one's explained anything to me."
Yeah.
Welcome to being a giant robot pilot, even though Sigure is the main pilot.
Wow.
Just get in.
Oh, you can be like the Daigar people who trained to be pilots and then didn't get to pilot stuff for years. Except the one guy who was like, I just took this job because it was really cushy, and who expected giant monsters to show up again.
And then they did.
And then they did, and he was suddenly forced to actually do his fucking job. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't put Daigar in this in retrospect. Just because Daigar also has the corporate aspect to it.
I'm surprised, and they had the assets from
Yeah, and Z3 had and it was
Z3
in
too.
Z3, so you would have fit because there's the what's it called? What's the fucking like 70s Super Robot series in this? I can't remember it.
If you wanted to go silly and kind of go with like a real robot thing, you could have put Pat LaBarre, even though they're fucking pathetically weak.
I mean, I'd have said not just because Bottoms is in this, and Bottoms are weaker than Pat LaBarre.
Oh, never mind. You're right.
Well, except unless
Sort
you're
of.
piloted by the main character.
Yeah, unless you're Chirico's one. In which
And
case,
there's only 2 of them, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I mean,
basically,
Chirico,
if you do use
and Chirico's
Bottoms,
friend.
I mean, to
if
be
you
fair,
are-
there's like only 2 main pilots in Pat LaBarre, and Noah's the only one that's any good with the damn thing.
yeah, but you have to understand the Bottoms can't even move their fucking legs.
Yeah. I mean, they can, but they usually don't.
Yeah, they'd rather just skate around like they're in heavy gear. I was wondering if you guys were gonna remember say, "Oh no, not that show." But I might be the only person who knows about heavy gear. Oh no!
The Toronto is designed to be so safe that it can be piloted without a suit. That's why it's totally okay to do it without those lame suits.
Basically, they're only gonna get like one cut in for the cockpit per like character per game. So they might as well have it so you actually see the character art they got, and not just a generic spacesuit that vaguely looks like male or female.
Right. People hate our
I
company
mean,
that much?
Well,
I had to look up Heavy Gear.
yeah.
I'd heard of it before, but I forgot its name.
I don't think I've ever seen Heavy Gear.
Yeah, but you're not missing much. Imagine like early 2000s CGI, but for a mech series. But instead of like being a war series, like I think the thing it's based off of is, it's just like they just do like arena fights.
I'm looking at a clip of it. I think they're supposed to be in like the Arctic somewhere, but it looks like he's just walking around on a white void.
Yeah. So it wasn't
like,
well animated.
That's not snow. That's just a white layer where the floor is.
I never said it was well animated.
Okay, that was a good exchange there. It was like, hey, why are you any particular reason why you're charging the bad guys head on? To intercept them as close as possible. The textbook play here is to hold out until reinforcements arrive, especially since we're outnumbered. We can't just win, we have to totally crush it. You really just want a bonus, don't you? That's right!
Hey, hazard pay is still pay.
It's true.
Gary knows what she wants, and she wants to get paid.
She wants that money, bitch!
I like to think that this series is basically a Gretzico, but with robots instead of fairies.
Basically.
So
And
so her co-pilot is Retsuko got transitioned into a co-pilot?
Rami is Rami is very much like 9, in that she is the inexperienced character that needs to be informed by protagonist choices.
Right.
She's also supposed to be like 20 years old, but you know.
Yeah, there are none of these characters are teenagers.
I did know
it's
that.
like it's like her whole support crew is like, it's like yeah, they're like Sagiri kind of looks at it, but it's like, oh yeah, her co-pilot is like 20 years old and looks like she's 10.
I mean, she looks
And the
more
one
like
girl is
16, 17.
Yeah, she was more
Oh.
like high school.
So like her
Oh.
being, so honestly, I could see her being 20 because sometimes there are people that just look younger. Like
The worst one's probably the glasses chick. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, because she
Yeah,
looks.
she's supposed to be like 25.
And she
Yeah.
looks. Yeah, her. She looks. She's on the screen right now. She looks like she would be like. She looks like she would definitely be like 16, 15.
Probably doesn't help that she's short enough that her character art doesn't showcase her. What's the best way to say it without me sounding like a total perv? Her giant gazongas. That'll do.
Okay.
With
Yeah,
this
no,
big,
not-
with just giant bazorka dorps. Big
Yeah.
hunk of dork. I can't
Look at
remember the line.
those magumbos.
Well,
Why do I hear an elephant?
oh no, don't worry. He's in the room. He's always here. Get it?
Oh.
It's a joke.
I understood that reference.
I didn't.
It was a Simpsons reference.
Oh.
But I am looking forward to getting my hands on the G Gundam crew. I want to play
Yeah, that
them.
won't be
Goddamn
too
it.
far.
I know
Man,
that. I know you get them early.
It is also a weird story in that it's not in that it's yeah, we're not doing the G Gundam plot, or it's set after the G Gundam plot, but we're doing the G Gundam plot. So all the
Because
things.
Master Ace is
Hey.
alive. But you know what? I can't even complain because it's not the first time Master Ace has survived when he shouldn't have.
Well, it's basically just because they don't want to create animations for the Shining Gundam. They want
Right.
to just do God
Yeah.
Gundam, which understandable because the rest of the Shuffle Alliance is in, plus Master Gundam.
Plus
Wow.
Noble.
And also, well, yeah, and they don't, and also that's probably don't want to do Rising Gundam either.
They also never
I
want to
did
do
s-
the.
I did see Noble Gundam lacks her ribbon attack, which makes me sad.
No, she doesn't.
Oh, so no,
She doesn't?
no, she doesn't have the ribbon
Oh,
attack.
maybe the video I had. Oh, she doesn't have it. Okay, I was right.
So here's the so basically, they're of the opinion that she was supposed to have ribbon attack, but they didn't have time for it. So instead, they gave her another attack, which she's clearly supposed to unlock later, based on the story. But they just gave it to her straight off, so she didn't only have 2 attacks.
Oh, the burning finger.
Yeah, like the burning finger, she just has from the beginning, and it's like there's an event later that is clearly when she's supposed to unlock it, but they just gave it to her from the start because they didn't have time to animate the ribbon attack. In fact, that happens with a lot of units in this game. They're like, there should clearly be an attack here, but they didn't have time to animate it because
Well,
they only had a year to develop the game.
The trade-off is that some of the units do get more attacks than they otherwise should, like Gunbuster.
Yes.
Hey, wait a minute. I recognize.
Well, yeah, that's big.
I was gonna say, wait a minute. I recognize that's one of the fucking Jovian, and then they just like Jovian Federation weapons.
Yeah, I mean, the is in this Prince of
Yeah.
Darkness again, but
But the Lizard Ward ended. Where have I heard that one before?
if anything, it's a bit more emphasized in this because unlike in V, you don't just kind of get halfway through and decide, yeah, we're done with these idiots and get Eureka back. It's more or less near the end of the game that Eureka becomes a sub-pilot on Nadesco again. Which is a shame because her commands are fucking great.
Oh yeah, like the Nadesco is already powerful, and then when you get the C and you get Eureka, it's just like, wow, this is just fucking stupid now.
Well, the main thing is that Nadesco doesn't have to compete with Yamato in this game. It has to compete with the Arcadia, which is fine. It's just that it's not got it's not got a bullshit map attack, and doesn't have system seizure as a special ability. I mean, it does have its own special ability that's also really good, but like as I said, it's not neither of them are competing with Yamato, which is just no battleship really beats this. It's big, it's tanky, it hits like a truck. It has like four spirit commands worth of, or 4 pilots worth of spirit commands, and also it has like the single strongest attack in the game, and the spirit commands to make it stronger. So that was kind of great. And Arcadia is definitely nowhere near the level of Yamato.
What robot's this? The big Valgoof.
Hmm?
the Valfog,
Oh, Volfog.
Valfog
Oh,
showed up
Volfog.
of the
Yeah. Yeah,
Galgaigar
3G.
crew.
Yeah, Volfog. The the weakest and the worst of them.
I mean, it is level 2, so they're not going to give me Galgaigar right now.
No, I could have given you Choryujin, though. I mean, Volfog's fine. He's just kind of.
I mean, they could have given me Burning Gundam right now.
The problem is that Volfog is designed to be an infiltration unit.
Oh,
and
Tetsuya.
That,
Oh, Shiro. Wait, who the fuck is Shiro?
Koji's brother.
Oh, I just.
If Koji's an adult, then his brother is a
Oh, so
teenager
he's
slash adult.
piloting something here. I don't know what the fuck
Yes,
it is.
it's the mass production version of Mazinger from Infinity.
Oh, okay. And then that's Tetsuya over there.
In the Great, yes. So they explain it in that by the time Infinity takes place, because Infinity is like a decade or so after Mazinger or Mazinger Z, the Photon Power Labs have managed to develop like mass production versions of Mazinger, which are weaker. And when you don't have to run the Ichinana, there's no reason to run the Ichinana. It's just here because otherwise Infinity only has like 2 units.
Because there's no Mazen Kaiser or Mazen Emperor G.
And Mazinger Infinity itself is the bad guy, and also kind of hard to do because it's about 300 meters tall. And also is stupid. And I mean, I guess they did it because, well, it is a new Mazinger property, and we've kind of done all the other Mazinger properties, so might as well give Infinity its shot. But it's definitely obvious in this it's more here for story reasons than anything else, because they wanted this narrative of old people doing things instead of just being down to the youngins.
All right, so now I have. Man, they're really ironing home that Tetsuya's gonna fall off because they gave me him right off the fucking bat.
Yeah.
Poor Tetsuya.
Well, it's also because they clearly had to give you like they wanted to give you a Mazinger like fairly early on, but like they can't give you the Z for plot reasons. Like Koji's retired from doing robot piloting at the moment.
Oh god, that panel work.
Yep.
I hate it.
Yep.
Gross.
And what's worse is it's super worth the plot is the only way to make, or the best way to make Mazinger Z and Great actually work good, strong, is to deploy them both together because they get a combo attack midway through the game.
I hate it. Gross. Disgusting.
Otherwise, once you get the Z, it doesn't get any other upgrades until basically the end of the game, where it gets its replacement for Big Bang Punch.
Well, now to watch your favorite member of the GG crew.
Volfog. I mean, I don't hate Volfog. It's just of all of them, it's like, especially because like obviously there's some that just are not in this game as like units and only as attacks like Mike, or you weren't going to get King Jada until the very end.
Listen, it could have been worse. They could have just given us like the fucking guard driver.
Yeah.
It could have just been him who showed up.
They wouldn't do that just because, remember, this is the 3rd game in a row with the Might Gun people, and it's been fucking like nearly 25, getting on close to 15 years since Galgaigar's featured in anything.
Right.
Last time it was in anything properly was W, which is a DS game.
Yeah, let's look at this mass-produced monster and see if it at least is a little bit better looking than the other two, than the Great Mazinger.
Not really.
Hold on,
Not
it's
really.
gotta show up on the screen. It hasn't shown up yet because it's shooting the thing. Nah.
It's also
Actually, the
not
more
very
I
good.
look at it, the more I don't like it.
Well,
I don't like its head.
I can guarantee you the second you have enough units that you don't can't just pick all of them. You might be using the Ichinana.
I've already decided I wasn't going to.
Like, whoa,
I hate to do this to you, Tetsuya, but you're probably also gonna get benched.
Mm,
Hate it. Why did they do this to the Great Mazinger?
because that was the style Infinity wanted to go
They
for.
did it to everything in Infinity.
I hate it.
Yeah,
Why?
no one got out.
Why did they do
I don't know.
this?
They wanted to make it look more realistic by like,
No,
oh
I think
yes,
it's less so that, and I think it's more that they wanted to manage to try and keep the Mazinger design, like aesthetic and overall design, but they wanted to do something that made it uniquely Infinity, so that people could go, and like how Devilman Crybaby had its like bizarro animation, so that you would look at that and instantly go, oh yeah, that's Devilman from Devilman Crybaby. That's the Crybaby version of Devilman and Akira versus
What really fucks the Great is just those random, like, protruding panel lines on its chest right under the V that make no goddamn sense. I don't know why they're there. They're just there.
Z has it too.
Ugh.
Yep.
Oh God, why?
Because Infinity, and they wanted to use Infinity, and they wanted to use Infinity, or were told, no, you've got to use Infinity. Because bearing in mind, sometimes Banpresto goes to companies and it's like, hey, we want to use this property, and then they get told, okay, we have to use this version of it, and that's the only way they get the rights, or
Right.
they get told, yeah, no, you're using this.
Honestly, probably.
And then sometimes it's just they pick it just so it's over and done with, and they don't have to.
It's like, okay, we've done it. Now shut up and don't ask for it again.
Yeah, it's in. Like we fulfilled our obligations. I mean, they have also been pressured to remove stuff. It's like why the Hyukbine. It's actually kind of a miracle Hyukbine's in V, to begin honestly, because it is very not Gundam. So much that
like literally, I was like, wow, this is the most not Gundam I've ever seen.
so it actually got so bad because the Hyukbine model kits actually started out selling Gundam kits at one point.
Oh.
So Bandai basically told Banpresto axe the Hyukbine, and so they did. They killed all the.
Or else you can't have Gundams in your Super Robot Wars anymore, and that's the thing that pretty much sells them.
So then they had to kill the Hyukbine, and killed all the Hyukbines in the OG stuff, and replaced them with the X-Bine, which looks exactly the same as the Hyukbine, it acts exactly the same as the Hyukbine, but it doesn't have the V on it, so it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the Hyukbine in fucking V, I was like, why is it just a Gundam?
Because Bandai owns both.
I know they do, but it was just funny.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be a reference, and then they got carried away.
And then it got more popular, I guess, for a short bit.
Well, it was supposed to be a reference back when Super Robot Wars 4 was going to be the last game. And they were like, well, that was a nice couple game experiments. All right, let's move on to something else. Oh, you want to do a shout out to Gundam for the last game? Yeah, sure. And then, they kept making more. And they kept making more.
The problem
and then they started making more original units, and they were like, hey, let's make a Hyukbine Mark II and Mark III and all these other things.
Because
then,
like
hey, let's make a game that's only the original units, so we don't have to pay licensing fees to any of the companies, like say Bandai. Yeah, that's great, but we'll still use the Hyukbines. Hey, let's make models off of them. And then Bandai was like, no, you're honing in on our act.
So then they had to replace it with the X-Bine, which is the same, but without the V head.
Yeah. It was the anime that did it, because they were going to put him in Divine Wars, and Bandai was like, no,
So they
stop.
just used crappy. All you got was crappy dispense.
I do like that Volfog is like, so that's the new one? Alright, I'm gonna report that, bye.
Yeah. Well, because because his shtick is that he's like operations and intelligence gathering, because he's a ninja. And that's why he's crap at fighting, because he's actually not supposed to fight. He's just supposed to do ninja stuff and protect the one child. But inevitably, like, shit gets real, they need all the help they can get. Poor Volfog.
Oh, I guess Great Mazinger's just gonna be here now. With its protruding chest panels.
Great Mazinger's been licensed out to the company.
He's been licensed out, protruding chest and all.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it.
You don't have enough units to bench him.
I don't.
So, Great Mazinger's here to stay.
Nah,
Just be thankful. Just be thankful Infinity never had Grandizer up here.
I don't even want to think of what kind of monstrosity it turned the Grandizer into.
I mean, you know what? I'll take it if the Grandizer is just in the game.
Why did we just forget Grandizer exists?
Because Mazinger happened.
Because Shin Mazinger happened, and that's what they decided to just start using for everything. They want to bury the toy animes for some reason, like in Super Robot Wars. No more TV Mazinger, or Great or Grandizer, and no more TV Getter. I don't know why, but they decided ever since Z, which at this point came out 12 years ago, that no, we're burying them.
Even though nobody really cares these days.
No. Well, it might. I mean, it might be that Toei cares.
Maybe.
Or that could be the problem. If it's like it's easier to get it's easier to get hold of the rights to Shin Mazinger and Shin Getter than it is to get
or they just don't want to pay, or they just don't want to pay for the voice samples.
Yeah, it is another thing.
Because most of those actors can't record lines anymore because their voices have aged too much. So
it's easier just to get the people who have done the most recent renditions.
Pretty much.
Although I guess that doesn't explain why they won't do new Getter Robos very often.
Maybe they didn't want to reenact the scene where Ryoma tells Carlos to shut the hell up.
No, he tells him to go back to Mexico.
Well, first he says, "Shut the hell up, Carlos. I don't want to hear that. Get your ass back to Mexico." That's the full line.
I mean, maybe it's because that version of Ryoma is running for president.
Yeah.
I'd vote for Ryoma.
At least he's honest about being a psychopath.
I don't think he ever calls himself a psychopath, but he never denies it either.
No.
No, he's not like the Mazinger SKL guys.
We're not crazy. Huh?
Do they ever deny they're psychopaths, really, though?
No, they do nothing. They do nothing but proudly boast about how they're psychopaths. They don't deny it, but also every single one of their lines is, "We've come from hell to wreck shit. We're gonna kill everyone." Ha 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 ha.
Poor Mazinger Skull guys. They're in like one game.
I know. I was like, you're trying a little too hard there, guys.
They are trying too hard. I won't lie. I think the Mazinger Skull robot itself is cool, but you know.
I do actually wonder if the idea behind Skull was to try and basically turn Mazinger into a new Gundam, in that it become like a franchise you could like you would have separated from its original source and could like basically bring back every year or two as like a completely new thing with new cast and
maybe.
Because Skull seems like such a weird concept. Just completely say, yeah, we just have the robot, but nothing else.
We have the robot, nothing else. In fact, we kind of seem more like Violence Jack than anything else. Skull is like the closest thing to Violence Jack has ever gotten to being animated.
I thought Samurai Jack was the closest Violence Jack ever got.
Watch out!
Am I wrong though?
Yeah, but you know, at least I like the Samurai Jack adaptation better because it's Scaramouche.
But yeah, so we're stuck with Infinity, like it or not, for now.
For now.
Yeah. I mean, next game, I doubt they'll use Infinity again.
I hope they don't. I don't really like how it looks.
Well, there's some units that there's some series that just flat out only get one game. I mean, I'm trying to think of them now. I mean, okay, Yamato, Nadia, and Arcadia
it's like,
are basically like one and done.
You got your one game.
Cowboy Bebop. Oh, that's true. Oh, that's a point. You will get the Bebop crew in this.
All right. This is where we'll stop. We're about an hour in. I forgot how the cutscenes are kind of long, so it like you can get like 2 maps done, and then it's like, all right. The
Man,
bell
you think
rings.
this? You think this is long?
Oh no, it gets
Wait-
longer. I know. I played.
Wait till there's actual plot to talk about,
Oh, I know.
and also the missions start getting longer.
Oh, I know. I play.
Just
I'm
be
playing
thankful.
V.
Just be thankful Embryo's not in this one. Fucking Embryo, love that guy.
Hello, it's me, Embryo. Would you just stop? No.
Literally by like the second time they meet Embryo, they're already done with him.
Can you just leave forever? No. I like how they're not even subtle about him just being fucking annoying and a creep. Where, like, when he shows up to that one guy in Yamato, he's like, I usually do this with women, but...
I mean, yeah, the show was hardly subtle about what Embryo was. Which
Wait, you mean Crossange wasn't subtle?
I know, right? It is like what I mean. It is like the series' greatest strength is its subtlety in storytelling.
Yeah. Alright, that's enough for today. Y'all have a good day, and we'll be back with more Super Robot Wars T.